Hello, welcome to this evening's video. Thanks to everyone who liked and shared the last one. It's very much appreciated. We're going to start off with the dollar index daily chart and just take note of where we are. Last week we had this level noted as support and resistance, resistance here, resistance, and bouncing as support. So as long as it stays above there, we can look for more dollar strength. We are pulling back today on Monday, so we're just letting Monday's range establish. But any pullback, I'll be looking to load up again on more dollar strength. How that translates into FX, we'll take a look at that after, but we're going to start off with Bitcoin. We had a bit of a spike today on some fake news. We'll go out to the daily chart. These are the levels I'm looking at. 31k, 25.2, and then we have midpoint 28.122. Just here we see resistance, resistance, resistance. This is the level I'm watching because that's what's, where price is at the moment. I'll wait and see how this daily candle closes. It is a very volatile spike, obviously, but if I was looking for selling opportunities, I go down into the H4. I'm looking at this channel that I had on previously, this channel low. You can see we have support here, and resistance, a bit of support here. So if I'm looking for more downside, I want to take note of this mid-range. I want to take note of this previous weekly high. And if we feel here, this is a bit of a spike. I need to let it play out a little bit more, obviously, because we need more price action to see if we can get back below in this resistance, previous weekly high. And we'll be looking down to the weekly open for first target, breaks, and previous weekly low is where we'll take off most of the trade. Okay, we'll move on to Ethereum. We're on the daily time frame. This is the range that we're looking at. 1538 is the low. It's just this candle's low here, capping the downside, and then we have these range highs in around 1742. Resistance, resistance, support, support. So any trade I do sort of take on Ethereum, I will frame around these levels. If I'm looking for more downside, I'll look for price to come up, maybe take one of these highs. So basically what's happened before. High taken, sells off, comes down, takes low. We'll be looking for a high taken to sort of play the range. If it's too weak and we get a daily close below and retest, and then that's where I'll get involved with a continuation play on the higher time frame. So there's no real point in going down into the H4 because either I want to be playing this level or a break down below here. So we'll leave that until we get a break. Let's take a look at BNB. It's in a range as well, very similar. We have lows, but it's a little bit closer to the highs and something that I'll be watching. Resistance, 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 support, support, support on the daily. So let's go down into the H4, see what levels we have to work with. We do have a previous monthly high up here and Monday's high. So I could use that to frame an idea. So we have this area. If we can come up, sweep this high, get back below Monday's high, and that's where we'll enter. This is where we'll put our stop, and then we'll start targeting previous weekly high, weekly open, etc. Using these levels on the way down, which were previous resistance or support. On the way down, we can use them as targets, and then we'll leave the rest on and see if we can make it the whole way down to those range lows. So that's crypto. FX, I'm looking at Aussie dollar to the downside. We are getting a bit of a pullback on the daily, just a few levels to note. I like this low just because it acted as support here, bit of a deviation, and you can see it acting as support here. So that would be a key level for me. The first level, I'm going to start looking for selling opportunities. I'm just playing it back down to these range lows again. I want to be playing here or maybe these range highs. If we go down and take a look at the H4, we can take a look at the levels, the indicators given. So that level lines up quite nicely with a previous weekly midpoint. So that's the first area I'm starting to look for a breakdown in price. I'll just follow structure as well for that confirmation. So if price follows this, then we get a breakdown. Breaking structure, we're looking to sell, stop here, and then we're targeting these lows, support and support. If we do come up the whole way up to this previous weekly high, we'll wait till it gets back below this monthly open, and then that's the second opportunity for a trade. So that's a deeper pullback, and this one is just a pullback to the weekly midpoint. So two places I'm looking to sell Aussie dollar. Kiwis, very similar. we have previous weekly high, previous monthly high up here, and then we have weekly midpoint. This is the first area. I'm starting to look for selling opportunities. This is the second area if we get a very deep pullback and we sort of playing this range. So bearish bias on Aussie, bearish bias on Kiwi. We'll take a look at EURUSD to the downside, getting a bit of a pullback today as well. We do have some structure that we can follow here on the H4. I'm just keeping an eye on. Support, support and resistance. We have a previous weekly midpoint. We also have the monthly open here. We have Monday's high, so that creates a nice area to start looking and framing trades off resistance and support. If we can come up, get back below Monday's high, then that's where we'll start to look for selling opportunities in EURUSD. First target, and then see if we can get these current yearly lows as a second target. I do like EURUSD to the downside. Dollar CAD to the upside. We do have previous weekly lows here, and we have a yearly open, so anywhere in this area I'd start to frame. If we can reject these lows, get back inside. So what was support here, come down, get back inside, deviation, this is where we look to long. This is the first target and this is the second target. So pretty simple. We've got a bullish bias on dollar, and we'll see what instruments set up the best for trading opportunities to the downside. We'll take a look at pound as well. We have similar structure to euro in that we have this trend line as support, support and resistance. First area to start looking for selling opportunities is this weekly midpoint. If we can get back below Monday's high, possible day trade down to the weekly open, and then see if we can come down and take out these lows. Second opportunity would be this previous weekly high where we take out these highs. First target, and then second target. So bearish bias on pound. And then we've seen some strength coming in with the Swiss franc. Aussie Swiss to the downside. I kind of like the look of. We've had this strong sell off, so we're getting a pullback. If we go out to the daily, we do have a nice area of previous structure. Support here, resistance, support and support. So anywhere in here, I'll be looking for continuation to the downside on Aussie Swiss. We'll see if any levels line up inside there. Well, we have this previous monthly midpoint. If we can reject off this level, that's where I'll be starting to look for sells on Aussie Swiss. So that's really it for this week. A lot can change as the week develops, but overall bias is bullish on the dollar, and I'll see how that translates into FX. And keeping a keen eye on crypto as well, just to see what happens really with Bitcoin. Are we going to sell off to the bottom of that range again? But yeah, thanks everybody for liking the last video and sharing it. It does mean a lot, and thanks for watching. I hope you have a profitable week.